Hello, 7th graders. Today we're going to find out how to find the slope from 2 points. So the slope of the line containing 2 points, we have x1, y1, and x2, y2, can be found using the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That means the same thing as m equals the change in y over the change in x. We're subtracting our y values, we're subtracting our x values, and that gives us our slope. Our slope, remember, has the variable m. So x1, y1 represents the x and y coordinates of the very first point. The x2 and the y2 represents the x and y coordinates of the second point. It doesn't matter which point you choose as your first or your second point, but you have to stay consistent. So to start our practice today, for each of the pair of points, we're going to identify what the x1, the y1 is, what the x2, and what the y2 is. So for our x1, we look and we see the very first set of ordered pairs, that corresponds to our -4. So our x1 would be -4. Looking at our x2 next, well, that's all the way over here. That corresponds with the 3, the first one in our second ordered pair. So x2 would be 3. y1 is next. That's right here. That's in our first ordered pair and the second one in our ordered pair, so that'd be our 0. And lastly, we have our y2. Well, that's the very last thing we see, our second ordered pair and the second number in the ordered pair, so that'd be our -9. Go ahead and try the next two on your own. Pause the video and come back and see how you did. All right, so for B, we have 0, 0, and -8, 11. So 0 goes with our x1. Our second 0 goes with our, y1. Our -8 goes with our x2. And our 11 is our y2. So we can just write them as we see them. We have 0, 0, -8, and 11. For C, we have our x1, which is that first number, 2. Our x2, which is that first number in our second ordered pair, which is 0. And then our y1 is that first ordered pair, the second value, so -5. And y2 is -6, the second value in our second ordered pair. So I went ahead and put that formula back at the bottom here. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is going to equal our m, or our slope. So once again, that's the change in y over the change in x. We always put our y over our x. So to start off, let's go ahead right away and label our points. So we have 4, which is our x1, y1, which is our -1, 6, which is our x2, we're on our second ordered pair, and 2, which is our y2, once again, our second ordered pair. So we can go ahead and just plug those numbers right into our formula. So we have 2 minus -1, 2 minus -1 over 6 minus 4. 2 minus -1 actually turns to adding a positive, which is 3, and 6 minus 4 is 2. So my slope, or m, equals 3 over 2 for that one. Next one, we have 3, which is our x1, first ordered pair, with y1 being -2, x2 being 4, and y2 being 3. Now we have y2, 3, minus y1, -2, over x2, 4, minus x1, which is 3. Once again, the 3 minus -2 becomes 3 plus 2, which is 5. And 4 minus 3 is 1. Well, 5 over 1 is the same thing as just 5, so my slope, in simplest form, is 5. Next one, we have our x1 being 0, our y1 with 4, x2 -3, and y2 12. So that's 12 minus 4 over -3 minus 0. Well, that gives me 8 over -3, which really just means that my overall slope is negative, leaving me with m equals -8 over 3. Go ahead and pause. pause the video, try the last 3 on your own, and come back and see how you did. All right, so I already went ahead and labeled that for you. Now all we have to do is plug it into our formula. So we have 1 minus 7 over negative 3 minus negative 1. 1 minus 7 gives me negative 6 over negative 3 plus 1, which is negative 2. Well, negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Next one, we have 7 minus 7 over negative 11 minus 3. Well, that gives me 0 over negative 14. But 0 over anything is just 0. So my slope is 0. Last one, we have 10 minus 4 over negative 5 minus negative 5. Well, 10 minus 4 gives me 6. And negative 5 minus negative 5 becomes addition, and that gives me 0. Well, if 0 is on the bottom, it's not a 0 slope. We call that undefined.